Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Powerful Man Show. I am your host, Doug Holt, with my co-host, Tim, the Powerful Man Matthews. Tim, how are those nuts?
It's actually frozen blueberries.
Look at you. Good for you. Very health conscious.
I'm going how they are. Let me just try one.
That's awesome. I always give Tim a hard time when we're doing these podcasts, guys. We do batch them. So we do them one time. We're always talking back and forth. And Tim and I are like brothers, so we definitely talk a little trash here and there. So sometimes I wait for him to put food in his mouth while we're talking, and then I hit record, as I did with the blueberries. So didn't catch him this time.
As a good friend does.
As a good friend does. Absolutely. So Tim, the topic of this one is this a scam?
Yes.
We're just very bad scam artists.
Yeah.
And we've decided to spend an inordinate amount of our time recording podcasts and videos. And we got a ton of actors from all over the world, Cyprus, the UK, the United States, Canada. These actors we hired to give testimonial videos about their lives. And we were so good at it. We planned this, 10, 12 years ago with had them have Facebook profiles and LinkedIn profiles.
You're forgetting one major thing. Then all the 200 plus men in the community and workplace, all fake profiles.
Yeah.
Into the effort of coming up with all of those.
Well, they can't see those. They can't see those. Yeah.
Well, no, but one of the ways and what, I get it, right? I get the concern. Some guys see a random Facebook ad pop up on the screen. Some things are a scam. Some guys go from not knowing us at all to then, having a couple of calls with us and joining the program within a few days. I can get the caution that they experience, if you will. But, I love what the advisors do, because one of the things that they do is jump on Zoom with them and share the screen and say, hey, look, this is the community that you've probably not seen. And just give them a quick, peek behind the curtain. The results the men are getting. And I've even gone as far as to say to the guys, look, don't pay in full. Don't do that. Split it over 2 payments. And if after 30 days, you feel like it's a scam, leave and do a chargeback on your card. I don't think you're going to do that. And they never do. In fact, the one guy actually did it. I gave him that peace of mind, let's call it. He actually messaged in today, it was, in fact, into one of the channels. And he said, hey, Mark, I stopped counseling with my wife too. Don't be afraid. Our relationship has actually improved after we stopped a month ago. So far, I've made more progress in a couple of weeks in the program than 2 years in counseling. I wish you all the best, brother. And that was the guy that understandably said, hey, Tim, I'm going through counseling. It's not worked for me. I've only just found you guys. I'm worried it's a scam. Going to give my credit card to some random UK guy. But look at the results he's then getting just from that little peace of mind we could give him.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. And I get it, right? I really, really
get it. Yeah.
I saw that test that come through from him. That was awesome. I mean, better results in 2 weeks than over 2 years of marriage counseling. We should post that so other guys can see that, because it's just real, right? The thing is we're just real guys. That's why, I'd love to be more articulate, maybe not talk as much trash, but that's just who I am, right?
Yeah.
I grew up with a house full of guys and playing sports. I talk a lot of trash, but I only talk trash to the people I like. So if you guys ever meet me and I don't talk trash, then something's up. But the point is I was even thinking about this, if I ran across a Facebook ad or maybe came across this podcast as I was listening, trying to figure out, wow, is this legit? And what happens, what I came to the conclusion, I'm going to share a story about this and how I came to this conclusion as well, Tim, in a second. But the conclusion I came to is it's our ego, right? So in an egoic space, not ego like, I'm amazing, but egoic of protection. So what happens is a trapdoor the mind is going to set for you, because you're in a crappy place. Not crappy, but you're not in the place you want to be, which I call a crappy place. Right? Maybe it's in your relationship. It's where a lot of guys find us, is they want to save their marriage, and it's bad. And they look at the alternative, right? Amazing marriage, amazing relationship. And that gap is scary. Right? We did a gap podcast before, but it's scary because you have a story around what that is, what you're going to find out, what it is if I invest in this program and my marriage still doesn't work. Am I the problem? Is she the problem? There's all kinds of sub stories that go on in the head that we don't even pick up on as men. You don't until you really analyze them. And so a funny example of this, and I'll reveal who this is because I think it's also funny after it. But we had a guy go through the program. He signed up, went through the activation method, reclaimed his marriage, right? In an amazing way, went to an event, met the coaches in person and the participants in person. And it wasn't until the last day of the event that he realized it wasn't a scam. It's Ryan Peach.
Yeah, no.
And Ryan, so you guys know, Ryan's life changed so much and so radically that he left his businesses, 2 businesses, very successful, moved his family, and now works with us to help other men. He is like, you know what? This changed my whole entire life. This happens a lot with us, which is amazing. This changed my whole entire life. And now I want to help other men change theirs. Because it not only helped me, but help my family, help my daughters, change his legacy. But until that last day, even, he was kind of in the back of his mind, like, is this real? Is this real? And again, that's your ego playing with you because it's scary. Change is scary, man. Otherwise, we'd all do it all the time. Right? What happens, your brain says, this sucks, but I'm alive and I'm safe. And so I'd rather stay here than commit to doing something else. The financial investment, look, it's a financial investment, nothing to shake a stick at, so to speak. But that's not the stressor for most of the guys. Once they pay, right? It's not like all of a sudden everything's great. No, it's the time and it's really the change that happens. I mean, look at this guy who commented, I've had more success in 2 weeks of the program than over 2 years of marriage counseling. That's huge. So it's not about the money, right? Because you spend a lot more, I can guarantee, of someone myself who's been through marriage counseling. It's expensive, right? It's more expensive in time and pain, though, than it is the actual dollars when you hand that credit card over to your therapist. Because trust me, your therapist takes that credit card every time without a problem. It's amazing. Yeah. It's hard for the therapist to solve your marital problems, but they always have a solution to solve any bank charges that you need to take care of. From experts at that.
Yeah, and I love it. When we do jump on Zoom with them and share that screen or whatever we do, it just blows the concern straight out of the water. Which is then they're left with this realization of, okay, so this isn't a scam. So am I going to do this then? And at that point, there's 2 very clear choices, right? They either continue doing what they've been doing, and for most guys, the likelihood is divorce, quite honestly, which is going to cost them, ranges from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands, never mind the other costs that can't be counted, the effect on the family, the effect on the kids. I've had previous podcasts where we dived into that one with Chris. So there's huge cost to it. So they either continue doing what they're doing and go down that path, or the scary thing is to do the work. The scary thing is to invest in yourself, because then when you really take responsibility like that, it's no longer a case of, whose responsibility is it? You're taking ownership, you're taking responsibility. And, this is how you can feel anyway. Obviously, you realize certain things as you go through the program. That's actually not the case, but I get it. I really do. And for some guys, have been scammed, right? Some guys have clicked on a Facebook ad, and some guys have had their bank accounts wiped out, and no racism here, but some emails Nigerian printed and things like that. Some people act on those things, right? And do get scammed. A lot of people do. I've heard stories of that from guys that have come into the programs that has actually been a thing. So, I also get that side of it, but I agree with you. Yeah, wouldn't you pull that veil back? Yeah, what's actually there is wanting to keep safe and protect you from the change. But, it's got to be done. A change has to occur.
Yeah. And I agree with you. And we look at this. I think one of the guys in the Brotherhood said it, and made me laugh. He said, "I thought this was a scam. Then I saw that these guys did over 300 podcasts." And he said, "If they're willing to go that far just to scam me, they deserve my money." And I thought that was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. I just invested in a coaching program just yesterday. And it's one Arthur's talked about as well. And I was just like, I need a change. I want to, get some optics. You and I both know, Tim, that, a coach is the fastest path to success is going through a coaching program or getting a coach. Because you can just see optics you can't. The first thing I looked at when I went to this program were the testimonials, right? Do they have a couple testimonials? This program has been around for a long time. They only have six testimonials. But that's enough for me. If you have social proof of six people that are willing to get on camera, right? Because being on camera, let's be real. For most people, that's a scary thing, right? To sit there and raise your hand and say, yes, I took this and I liked it. Now, this program had nothing to do with the depth of complexity that we go through, right? Relationships. I mean, that's taboo. You don't want anybody to know your relationship's not working, right? Nobody, come on, Facebook, Instagram, everything's perfect. Let me show you a picture. This is a special shout out to someone, a picture of my wife and I at Eric Church concert, right? That guy's an amazing guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little inside comment for one of our guys that's in the inner circle. So, but that picture gets shown on Instagram, on Facebook, everybody looks happy. So you don't want anybody to know that. And one thing I think it's interesting about our program is we have, 50 plus video testimonials from business leaders, men who don't go on camera, who don't want to be in the public eye, but because the program changed their life so much, they've demanded almost to get in front of camera and say, hey, look, here's where I was and here's where I am, and you need to get involved. It's because it's that impactful to people, right? It's that impactful that they've said, hey, look, put me in camera, right? I run a business. I don't want people to know, yet I need people to know. I need people to have this change because I wish, what do we hear from every guy that goes through the program?
You should have done it sooner.
I wish I would have done this sooner. It's a joke as coaches, right? Because we hear this 20 times a month. I wish I would have done it sooner. There's not one guy that says, this was the perfect time, or I could have waited a day or a week. Not one man. Every 100% of men say, I wish I would have done this sooner. And so we look at this as being a scam, right? And it's kind of a joke. I just threw this on the table and we hit record, but I understand how it would go through people's minds. It probably would go through mine. And the first thing I would look at is, what's the social proof? Who's involved? Right? What are they, is this are they just after the finances? Are they just after these things? Or are they genuinely interested in helping me and serving? Right. And looking at those options. Right. And then what's the depth of the coaching bench, so to speak? And is there social proof? Like, have other people that I can relate to been through this? And what are the results that they've gotten? And those are the kinds of things that I would look for, right? And look into a program. Like the first thing I did when Arthur mentioned this to him, because I was asking him about it, is I looked to see the social proof. I didn't look at the curriculum. I didn't look at the promise that you get from the program. I looked to see, cool, are people willing? Because I know how hard it is for people to get in front of camera. Guys, you listening to this, if I put a camera in front of your face and say, hey, I want you to tell me about your marriage. Are you going to be super stoked on that? And then I'm going to say, look, I'm going to put it on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, a website, email, right? 30,000 men are going to get this in an email. Are you going to be stoked to talk about these things? No, probably not. You're no different from the guys that have gone through the program. The difference is it changed their life so much that they've decided to get in front of the camera because they go, man, I wish somebody else would have shaken me. That's the same thing I look for. So social proof's really important to me, as well as, the person's background, the person or people's backgrounds, and, how long they've been doing it, who are they? What are they going to be teaching? Can I relate to them? etc.
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting because one of the things that we often sometimes get asked, what qualifications do the guys have? Which I find interesting. Obviously, I explained the fact that between just you, Arthur, Mark, myself, excluding the other guys who will support them, Lee, Ryan, I mean, there's decades of experience, right? And not just theory, it's life experience. And literally millions of dollars invested into our own growth and development.
Oh yeah.
And then it's been tried and tested in the field with men across all sorts of different industries, across all sorts of different nationalities. It's been tried and tested and proven, and we use it and live by it too. And we're constantly in the conversation refining it. So no, we don't have any qualifications. But in my opinion, what's most important for me isn't the qualification. It's the life experience. Now, how much do these who I'm about to work with, how much do they get me? How much do they get my problem? Are they going through it themselves? For example, often the guys tell us, I remember a joke, I an Alpha Reset in Virginia Beach about a year ago. And all the guys were there, and they were sharing their experiences of marriage counseling. And it was so funny, Doug. And the bottom line of it was all these guys were saying, look, they just don't get it. It's either a woman. I'm not being sexist here, but it's either a woman. They don't get what it's like for me to be a guy, or it's a guy that doesn't run a business. And he's expecting me to do these things, and it's like, hang on a minute, you don't get it that I'm pulled in all these different directions. So, I know it kind of a little bit off topic to have been a scam, but in terms of what we look for when we're going to work with somebody, and let somebody, like you said, it's not the money, it's the time, right? It's a time that you never can get back once you choose to work with somebody. So I think a really important factor there is, have they walked the path that I'm about to walk? Not theoretically in a classroom and passed the test because they've been able to remember the material well, but actually in life experience. And then they're still walking it, right? And when you find people like that, time just kind of folds in on itself, and you just kind of pierce through it and pop out the other side much faster than you usually would do.
Oh yeah. I mean, night and day, which is really interesting. And bringing this back full circle to, is it a scam? I thought it was a funny topic, but it was kind of a joke that we joke around with the guys in the Brotherhood about it. When it popped up, like, how did you find the powerful man? The guys are all joking and laughing with each other, which truly shows the brotherhood component of the alumni and the guys that have been through the program, right? We're talking about guys from all over the world, different companies, different walks of life, different financial, take home and financial situations, divorced, separated, widowed, married, first marriage, second marriage, etc. Kids, no kids, all over the gamut. Just laughing and having a good time, joking about their experience and where they were and where they've come from.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I think I would do if I was listening to this, and that was kind of, I won't say my excuse, but something I was concerned about. One is I would look for social proof, right? And the thing that's cool about it is all of these guys, I believe, are on LinkedIn. So you can go check them out and see they have a real job. They're real guys. Two, they're all probably on social media of some sort. But three is maybe ask to get on a call with one of the guys. That's something that our alumni are always offering to do. Like, yeah, I'm happy to jump on a phone call with another guy and just talk to him. Right. These are real dudes, right? They're real guys. They're real men. Same guy you might run into at the gym or at the pub or at a barbecue with your family, right? These are real guys that have real life situations have happened to them and they've figured out a way out going through the program, right? And so that's where you get the legitimacy from it. I'd love to say, guys, trust me, from an egoic standpoint, I'd love to say, it's the coaches, right? It's the coaches, but it's not just the coaches. It's the formula. It's like, we always use the bake a cake analogy. It's like saying, it's the butter in the cake, right? That butter, that's what made the cake amazing. No, it's the butter, the sugar. It's every aspect of that cake and how it works together, and the ingredients and the temperature of the oven, how the oven was constructed. And then, how does that heat form, and when do you pull it out, and how do you cool it down? All of these things come into making an amazing cake. Us coaches, because I'm one of them, I love to think that we're the best butter in the world, but we're one component, right? And it's been put together in such a manner that allows for the growth and transformation that we're seeing from the guys. And that's why these guys get on camera and give testimonials.
Yeah. The Facebook group, if you remember, jumping there, go to the unit section. You can scroll down to the case studies. We've even got case studies from some of the wives. A couple of the wives just volunteered a video. So I think they're in there. If you're not in the Facebook group, head over to there. You can check those out, and maybe even search for that member's name in the Facebook group, right? And again, there's anyway, you can connect with them if you want. If you're really that bothered. It's there. You've got the options available.
Yeah, you posted a message 2 days ago, or maybe 3 in the Facebook group, like, "Hey guys, the guys that have been through the program, was it worth it?" Or something like that.
Yeah, was the investment worth it?
Was the investment worth it? I thought you'd get like 1 or 2 guys to respond, but you've got a load of guys in there that jumped up and raised their hand, right? Obviously, the guys don't have to. They don't get anything. They don't get a cookie or anything for raising their hand or showing up in there. You didn't call and ask any of them to do so. They just happen to see it be on Facebook, happen to see it in their feed. These are business owners, so it's not like they're on it all the time. And then they willingly responded like, yeah, this was an investment. And you can kind of see the brotherhood go back and forth in there with a couple of the guys joking with each other back and forth. Again, the guys coming together makes the cake, right? So to speak.
Yeah, for sure.
So gentlemen, it's up to you. You got to make the decision yourself. I thought this would be a fun topic to bring to the table. There are a lot of scams out there with COVID and everything else going through there. And you got to choose where to invest your time and your money and your resources, period. End of story. But I'll throw it out there. If your marriage or one of the other 5 territories isn't working out for you as well, jump on a call with one of the advisors. You'll be happy to know that the advisors, right, the people you get on a first phone call with, have all gone through the program. Every single one of them, so they can answer your questions. They also, as Tim alluded to or mentioned previously, don't push everybody through, right? It's got to be a good fit, because, we can't be baking a cake, so to speak, and have a crappy ingredient in there, because that's going to affect the whole cake. And not that the people that, so some of you guys have been pushed off that are listening to this, I'm sure. And it's not that it just wasn't the right time for you guys, right? The advisors know if this is the right time for you. They know if this is the right thing for you. They do this all the time. They have chosen to do this. All of our advisors made more money working elsewhere and doing other things. They're doing this because they love to help the guys. It's a choice, right? It's very, very much a choice for them. So get on there and take some action.
We get paid well as well, though. Let's make no mistake. They love doing it and live a great life and walk the message. And it's a win-win all round, right? They get to give back, and
So guys, what I'm going to invite you guys to do here is take some action, right? Decide what you want to do. If it's your first time with us, go over to thepowerfulman.com/bonus and pick up the Reignite cheat sheet. And if you've been with us before, you know what? I'm not even going to ask you to leave a review. I'm going to ask you to take some action and just jump on a call with one of the advisors if you're feeling called to. If you're not, no big deal, right? We'll be back next time for another episode of The Powerful Man Show, and hopefully we'll give you some insights and wisdom that you can apply to your life. So guys, that's it for us. That's a wrap on The Powerful Man Show.